Hey guys, how's it going? Glonk's back again with a brand new video from this FC26 Jose's Redemption Career Mode. Now today is a little bit of an extra episode. We are going to have the Season 1 Roundup today. I didn't want to add it at the end on the season finale because I just didn't want the video to go on for too long for you. But if you have missed the season finale, go back and check that out now, and there will be a link in the description down below. There will also be a link to the entire series playlist so far, so if you missed anything from Season 1, go and check it out because it was a wild ride, so you don't want to miss any of that. So head back now and check it out. And if you haven't left yet, then you should leave now because I am about to show some spoilers from the end of the season. For those of you who are all up to date and know what's going on, you will know that at the end of the last episode in the season finale, we just fell short of winning the league, and we actually ended up in third, 3 points behind Barcelona in first, and Real Madrid slipped up by drawing their final game of the season. But that's how close it was between us three, and in fact it was even close for the Champions League spots here as well, because Atletico Bilbao were actually the team that drew with Real Madrid in the last game of the season, and it meant that because they had a draw as well, it meant that Sociedad leapfrogged them as well. So that is how close it was in this league. But of course we only joined halfway through, as you guys well know by now. We obviously started at Juventus, but we ended up at Atletico. So to finish in third halfway through, still halfway through the season, where, okay, yes, we were in first when I joined, but it was still very close. It was pretty much as close as it is here. So in the end, we just fell short, but I hadn't done anything myself in the transfer window with Atletico, so hopefully next season we will jump into it and we will have a better season all round, to be fair, and hopefully we don't get sacked again like we did last season. But anyway, that's how our table ended. I'll show you how the other leagues ended, and then we'll go through the individual stats. So in the Supercopa then, Real Madrid beat Barcelona 2-0. In the Copa de España, it was actually Atletico Bilbao who won that and beat Sociedad 2-1. The Super Cup at the beginning of the season did end up with PSG beating Spurs 3-1. Then in the Champions League, it was actually from an Italian team that made it to the final against PSG, but Inter actually won it. So Inter will lift the trophy once again, and they beat PSG 3-2. The Europa League was actually won by Real Betis. They beat Porto 1-0. Conference League was won by Sparta Praha. Very, very interesting. It was actually another Spanish side that got to the final in Rayo Vallecano, but they just fell short to Sparta Praha. So the other leagues then, the Premier League, we'll go through the top 5 leagues. Arsenal actually won that league. Liverpool, City and Spurs got Champions League. Newcastle got Europa League, and Conference League was Chelsea. United also got Europa League probably as well, and there might even be Nottingham Forest might have just sneaked in there because I think there is 8 in there. We like having a look at the championships. So going up to the Prem is going to be Ipswich, Southampton, and one of Coventry, Sheffield United, Leicester or Norwich. And in fact, let's go back to the Premier League and just have a quick look at who got relegated. So it was Wolves, West Ham and Burnley that go down to the championship then. In France then, Marseille won the Ligue 1 with 3 points or 4 points in front of PSG. So Marseille get over the line there. Of course, Marseille knocked us out of the Champions League, which is a bit annoying, but it is what it is. So that's how that ended. Bundesliga was won by Bayern Munich, and there's no real surprise there. They only lost 1 game all season. So Bayern Munich dominate Bundesliga once again. Community Shield then was won by Liverpool against Palace. They won it 3-1. FA Cup was won by Liverpool as well. They beat Bristol City. That's a strange one. That's a bit of a shock there, but they got to the final. And Liverpool make it a clean sweep in all the, almost like a domestic treble without the league, and actually won the Carabao Cup as well against Chelsea and won that 3-0. The Virtu Trophy was won by both, and I'm not too fussed about that one. Oh, we can actually see the Championship playoffs now. That's good. So Sheffield United are the other side to go up into the Premier League then. Other leagues then, the PSG won the Trophée des Champions. Copa de France was won by PSG as well. The Super Cup, or the France Beckenbauer Super Cup, was won by Bayern Munich, so they won that 4-1. The DFB Pokal was also won by Bayern Munich, won that 4-0 against Mainz. and then the relegation playoff hasn't been played, but again, I'm not too bothered about that one. We'll have a look at some of the other leagues. In fact, actually, there is one league that we haven't looked at, and that is Serie A. Now, of course, we got sacked by Juventus, as like I've said in this video, and like you guys will know by now if you are regulars on this channel, you know that we started off Juventus and it didn't go very well. We got sacked because I believe when we ended up getting sacked, I was in third. It's quite difficult to sort of remember back because some things didn't actually happen in the end, because we kind of went back in time just so we could get a job at Atletico. So some of the things that we went through actually didn't happen, but you know, so it's very difficult to remember exactly where we were, but I think we were still in third when I actually ended up leaving. So let's see how Juventus actually ended up doing. And they actually won the league, although... Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Juventus win the league by 2 points, but they've played 39 games. How have they managed that then? Very interesting. And the fact they've actually won the league, and anyway, is a bit annoying because Napoli were a lot ahead, but Napoli did end up losing quite a few games there, because I believe they only lost the 1 or the 2 when I had actually left, but they actually ended up losing another 5 since then. So yeah, that's a very interesting turn of events there. It feels like the game has actually gone, do you know what, we're going to give Juventus an extra win just to flipping screw Klonks over and make it look like that he should have done a lot better because they won the league without him, or Jose Mourinho then. Very strange, that one. Very strange outcome there. Okay, so Juventus do end up winning the Serie A, which is again very frustrating, but those are how all the big leagues look like then. Let's go have a look at the individual competitions. Okay, then we will start off, of course, with our league then in La Liga. Robert Lewandowski just pits Kylian Mbappe to the top goal scorer and gets one more goal than with 26 over the 25 that Mbappe had. So that is Lewandowski there. Our top goal scorer was Julian Alvarez, who was really good for me, to be fair. Ended up getting 20 goals, and I'm anticipating next season that he's going to be vital for us. So hopefully he can top that and get a lot more goals for us next season. And that is how the rest of that is looking like then. If you are interested, like I said, feel free to pause, but I'm not going to go through them individually because we'll be here all day. The top assister then was Orhan Sanchez for Athletic Bilbao. He had 12 assists. And then our top one on this list was actually Alex Baina with 9 in 37. So, and even Alvarez is actually on there with 8 as well. But that is how the rest of that is looking. Then clean sheets was Courtois with 12. Oblak ended up with 10 for us. Like I said, it's not fully for us. None of these were all us because we didn't start at Atletico. But like I keep mentioning, but you know, like I said, it is how it is. So that is the yellow cards there, and then that's the red cards. I don't know if you're too interested in that. And the average rating then, you would say, is very close, to be fair. And usually you see players who have only played one game up here, but in fact some of the average ratings here are actually for players that have played every game. So Lewandowski there is in second after making 38 appearances. So he played in every single game this season and averaged a 7.76, which is very good for him. And then Kylian Mbappe was actually top, but he did play one game less than Lewandowski and only played the 37, but he had 7.86 his top there. And Julian Alvarez is our highest averaged player there, who did play every game as well with a 7.70. So interesting things there. So that's how our league looked like then. Let's go have a look at some of the other leagues. Actually, first of all, let's have a look at the cup competitions then. So in the Copa de España, Nico Williams for Atletico Bilbao actually ended up the top goal scorer there with 6 in 6. The top assister was Gelabert for Real Sporting with 3 in 6. Clean sheets was Ruben Llanes for Real Sporting as well with 4 in 6, joint with Unai Simon for Atletico Bilbao with 4 in 6 as well. And then those are the yellow and red cards. And then you'd say Nico Williams, because he played all 6 games, was probably the best average player there with 8.28, despite Israel Suero being above him. He only made the 2 appearances and ended up with 8.55. So that is how the Copa de España looked in the Super Cup. Then again, there's only 1 game played in the Super Cup, but that is how the top goal scorers ended up looking. Those were the goal scorers. That's with the assisters. There was no clean sheets because it ended 3-1. There was 1 yellow card for Van de Ven, and the man of the match of that game then was actually Kvartashila, so he got man of the match in the Super Cup. In the Champions League then, the top goal scorer was Harry Kane with 9 in 10, and Julian Alvarez was up there with 8 in 10 as well, considering he got knocked out fairly early. It's interesting to see that he was actually second top goal scorer in that competition. Kylian Mbappe got the most assists there with 5. Most clean sheets was for PSG with Chevalier, and PSG did get to the final. To be fair, actually lost the final to Inter, but along the way Chevalier did keep 8 clean sheets for his side. That's the yellow, that's the red, and then it's more difficult to have a look at in the Champions League because not everyone's going to play, but with the most appearances there, as at 15, Lautaro Martinez, you'd probably say, was the best player of the competition there with 7.73 in 15 appearances. Very good from him. In the Europa League then, surprisingly, it was Danny Welbeck for Brighton who was the top goal scorer in the Europa League. Very interesting from him there. So I don't really understand why Brighton are in the Europa League. They're not in real life, are they? As far as I can tell, no, they're not. It's Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa, so very interesting to see Brighton in the Europa League. But Danny Welbeck got the most goals there. Assist-wise, then it was Mija Zajc for Dinamo Zagreb with 7. Clean sheets, Diogo Costa for Porto, who did actually get to the final as well. To be fair, Porto did. So that is 5 in 15. For him. There's the yellow cards then, there's the red cards, and then the average rating, Danny Welbeck with 14 games got 7.86, so he is probably the best player of the competition then, with 10 goals and the top average rated player. So Danny Welbeck, having rolling back the years in the Europa League, having a stormer season for Brighton. I'm not actually sure how far Brighton got in the competition because they definitely didn't get to the final, but they might have got fairly far. The Conference League then, top goal scorers was Max Miedrink for AZ Valkmaar with 9, although joint with Sam Lemers with another 9 goals from a team in Netherlands as well. So that's an interesting one there. Lemers actually got the most assists as well. The clean sheets was again for 20. Una Stoll getting the most there. Yellow cards there, red cards there, and the top player, was Lemars. To be fair, he got the most goals and the most assists, so that sort of checks out there with 8.3 average rating. He is the best player of the UEFA Conference League. In the Prem then, top goal scorer was actually Mateus Cunha in his first season at Manchester United with 23 goals in 37 appearances. He just about beat Alexander Isak, who had 22 for Liverpool in his first season for them. And then Victor Gyökeres for Arsenal actually had 21 in his first season for Arsenal. So 3 strikers there. Mateus Cunha is more of a cam, you'd say, slash striker, but 3 attacking forwards in their first season for their clubs, having a very good debut season. So very interesting there. Florian Wirtz actually getting 20 as well for Liverpool, so he had a good season. Not doing so well in real life, but neither is Isak, to be fair. But in game they did very well, and that is the rest of that. Haaland, by his standards, you'd say 17 goals and 38 is actually kind of a poor season for him. It's not a poor season. Having 17 goals in 38 games is a good season, but for him, the standards he sets, that is quite poor. But that is how the rest of that looks like then. Benjamin Sesko there getting 12 in 37 in his first season at United. So to be fair, take that in real life. To be fair, if he did end up getting 12 for us this season, I think that would be a good start for his season at United. But yeah, so that is how that looks then. Assist wise, Bukayo Saka for Arsenal gets 14 in 38, so he gets the most. Tijani Reinders actually gets 11 for Man City as well in his debut season, and Brian Mbeumo gets 11 for United in his debut season at the club as well. So an interesting couple of players here getting some decent results in their first season. From Verts getting 8 as well, 20 goals and 8 assists. Liverpool would bite your hand off if he could provide that in real life at the minute, but he isn't doing that, but he is doing it in game. Clean sheets wise then, David Raya actually got the most. Yellow cards, Bernardo Silva with the most. Red cards, there was no more than one for each player, so that is how that looks. And then the average rated player, now you look at this, and a lot of players here have played a lot of different games. Alexander Isak up there with 31 with 7.79, but I would probably say, just based on first look, it's probably going to be Victor Gyökeres, who's probably the best average player, because he played in 38 games and managed to get a 7.49. So I'd say Victor Gyökeres has probably earned himself the Player of the Season award there for Arsenal, because they also won the league as well. So his goals and his performances got them over the line, and they finally won the league. So that is how the Premier League is looking. Right, we'll just quickly go through some of these now. I'm not going to spend too much time. So this is the Championship then. 27 goals for Chuba Akpom for Ipswich. The top assister was João Carenza for Leicester with 14. Clean sheets was Senny Dieng for Middlesbrough. Yellow red cards are not too bothered about, and then the average rated player was Chuba Akpom. He played he played 43 games. Maybe you'd have an argument that João Carenza, who played 46, maybe would have been the best player, but it's between those two anyway. In the League 1 then, it's actually quite a low scoring amount there, although they do play less games now in Liga. They only play the 34 games. So Ousmane Dembele with 18 there is the most for PSG there, and he actually got 15 assists as well. So Dembele looking like he was probably the best player. Clean sheets wise then, Luke Sadecki for Monaco got 11, and Chevalier also got 11 for PSG. Those are the yellows, those are the reds, and yeah, as suspected, Ousmane Dembele was definitely the best player of that competition this season. In the Bundesliga then, top goal scorer, no surprises really, Harry Kane with 29 in 34. Assist wise, it was Jonas Hoffmann and Jamal Musiala joint with 10 each. Clean sheets, Neuer got the most with 16. Yellow cards, red cards, and then average rating was Harry Kane with 8.07. So again, no surprises there. Harry Kane, the best player in the league this season. Then I think that is all we can look at, because I'm not going to be able to look at the Serie A one, which is a bit annoying because I started in the Serie A, but I couldn't select it as one of my favourite competitions because I was in that competition. But now that I'm not in that competition, it's annoying because now I can't see it. So it is what it is. That's how it is. But so that is everything we can look at with regards to how everything went around Europe. We'll have a quick look now at our individual stats. The individual squad stats is what I'm trying to say. So we didn't play most of these games, so I'm not that bothered about how these look. The most appearances though, Alvarez, Gallagher and Oblak all playing 50 games each. Top goal scorer for us was Julian Alvarez with 29 in that 50, and then the top assister was actually Alex Baina with 13, but Barrios there with 11 is a decent effort from him. But like I said, we're not too bothered about this because we only joined halfway through the season, so most of this wasn't even from me. So yeah, so it's no real point going through it and analysing everything there, because like I said, it wasn't me that did this. So next season is where it will be more important, and next season is going to be huge, and that is coming up next. So that is the season roundup done then, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy season 1, despite it being a bit of a crazy topsy-turvy season, roller coaster ride, but we've rode through it. We've sort of done what we could. We saved the season halfway through. Go to this Let Go. We're not in a great position here now. Obviously the board aren't too happy with me, but we've got next season to hopefully try and turn that around and try and get back to what this save is all about. And this save is all about winning trophies in the top 5 leagues in Europe and winning the European competitions as well. So we are in the Champions League again next season, so hopefully we can do a bit better in that competition than we did this season as well. So yeah, all that is to come in the next season. But like I said, guys, if you did enjoy, please remember to leave a like on this video and subscribe so you don't miss anything else as we jump into season 2 now. And of course there is links to my Twitch as well in the description down below, because I do live stream all my content over there. So if you want to come and watch me live in season 2 coming up, then make sure you follow me. But as for this one then, guys, that's where we're done, and I shall see you in season 2. I've been Clonks. Take care.